to follow Cabina as he cuts to the right. Jordan Love looking to throw across the middle and end. Quick slant. We find Dotson, who turns. He's headed for the end zone as time does not expire. All these games are massive. Ball popped up and we pick it off. And we take out the Eagles. As it's tossed up for Godwin, looking to throw across the middle, open target towards the top, though we throw. That is a big and quick win for Murray. Quick throw has Justin Jefferson. Need here late. Throwing up top, he's got Hamler. Murray throws it, it's picked off. We make it 4 wins now in a row. Which we handed off to leading the way. Rodgers quick throw. A little bit of some ground and pound game. Connor. Rodgers going up top and he's got a wide open target. As Dotson, he gets the step put on him. Well, that time fair for us. We send the blitz, but it opens up. We got our guy over the top. It's Godwin in for the win. Quick throw right across the middle. Defense as well. Over pursuit, and goal. Watson throws back corner. Though we will stick with Connor, who tries running through and will run through. We've got a guy open, put it on him. Do we still hold our lead, or did they steal the division? And following such a great episode that unfortunately ended in a sad note, as we did not make the playoffs, season 2 officially ends as the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl in dominant fashion, 45-14 over the Cowboys. Josh Allen, their Super Bowl MVP. You can see most of the yearly awards over on the right hand side. We did have 2 Pro Bowlers in O'Neal and Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald won best defensive lineman for the AFC. But that leads us to some sad news. After 11 years in the NFL, Aaron Donald retires. That is going to leave us with a massive hole along our defensive line, and we've got to find a way to fill that. Now, as for other players scheduled to leave, at least for now, we might bring back some of these guys in open free agency. Jason Cabina, he wanted a larger contract. Moving on from Jesse James, we'll see if we go back to him. Austin Johnson, Brandon Hill, Arthur Byers, Jacorian Bennett, Israel Abanikanda, maybe pronouncing that correctly, and Brian O'Neal. He did not want to return. We put in a good offer, but we have the franchise tag available and we will be applying that. As for players that we did re-sign, we are bringing back Quinton Jefferson. He's got a little bit of some block shed, a little bit of some power moves, not a whole lot of strength, but we already are having a massive hole with Aaron Donald gone, so we're definitely going to be bringing him back. Bringing back some depth for the outside linebackers, the corner, just DB group in general. We did sign Christian Benford to a 5-year deal, locking him in for the duration of this series, as well as Jahan Dotson. And as we get to open free agency, overall, I think it worked out pretty well for us. We did sign Connor McGovern. That's going to give us a offensive lineman over 80 overall. I think we only had one other in O'Neal. Now, we did sign 2 DTs, given the fact that Aaron Donald did just retire. Kevin Givens, 75, and Daquan Jones, 74. Givens would be around for the remainder of this series. Daquan Jones probably a 1-year deal, but we needed help at DT. Overall, the trenches get better. We also found a young receiver here in Parker Washington, brought him in. Yannick Ngakoue we added to the squad, brought back the backup running back and backup cornerback. Brandon Hills returns at safety, Cabina at fullback, and Lucas Kroll also returns. He was with us, I want to say, just from the fantasy draft. I don't think he made the original roster, but we needed a third tight end, and he was the best option. Now, in terms of draft picks for this draft class, we don't have a lot. We spent them all making trades, but that's because we don't have a very strong draft class. We do have a 3rd round pick and 2 7s. And honestly, even that might be too much, as there just really is not much here for us. On the offensive side, only 2 offensive linemen that were draftable talent projected. Their actual talent grade is potential undrafted. We get to the defensive side, and maybe someone like Justin Spillman. He may be available with our day 3. If so, maybe we pick him up. There is only one good player from this draft class, and it is Mitch Tolbert. Now, while we could maybe use some help for the defensive line, we don't have the necessary picks to be able to pick him up. He's a round 1 top 5 talent, but I'm definitely going to show you just to see what he looks like. And he has the block shedding, he's got A finesse moves, he's got B power moves. Overall, he seems to be a pretty balanced style edge guy with injury concerns as a D. So with that, we are going to immediately come in here and jump to our next pick. Into the 3rd round late. Essentially, it's a 4th round pick. Now again, we only know of one possible guy for us to go after. Round 2 to 3, though, the talent grade was much lower. And as we take a look, he is gone. So what looks to be the best offer for us is going to be with the 49ers. We're going to pick up their 3rd and 5th round picks next year, and we're going to have 3 7th round picks, including 2 of our own this year. So we'll sign that deal with the 49ers, and let's go find some players. And honestly, of everyone available, I only think there's one player I really want from this group, and that's going to be Alex Stewart. He's going to be depth for sure out of Penn State, outside linebacker, power rusher. He's not the strongest, but he's got decent athleticism for this part of the draft. The power moves B to a C with C block shedding, banking on the power moves being that B. He doesn't have great play recognition. He's got a little bit of some awareness. There's some intriguing bits. Don't think he's going to ever grow to be anyone spectacular, but could provide pretty decent depth. He's a normal dev with 79 speed. And honestly, what we're going to do with these last 2 selections is trade it to the Texans. We're going to pick up a 6th round pick for next year. So we'll sign that one, and our draft is already done. So we move through this offseason pretty quickly, and it doesn't look like Alex Stewart is going to make the final roster. A 55 true overall. We took a shot on him, hoping he would have some power moves, and there's maybe a little bit there to develop, but honestly, the block shedding was better, so we'll see what we end up trying to do with him. Maybe we keep him as an off-ball linebacker and just try to progress him as a run stopper, but most likely he's headed to the practice squad, if not cut. Now, getting into week 1, we are running back majority of the offense from last year that kind of got things going in that second half. So we're not going to change much. Where we are changing is Juice Scruggs is going back to starting center. Bates is going to be the primary backup offensive lineman. Where things will change up a little bit as specialists. We'll get to that in a second. Defensively, again, not much changing from last season besides the DT spot. Unfortunately, no more Aaron Donald, but everyone else is returning. As for the cornerback group, kind of getting over to that specialist, but also still starters. Benford, Maddox, and the 2 receiver sets will be the outside corner. Whenever we go to nickel or dime, Dane Jackson, we're going to give him another opportunity. If he could stay healthy, hopefully he can make some big plays. He'll go to the outside. Maddox will go to that slot corner. And then we have Mathis and Aruarie. Aruarie has actually played pretty well for us in this series, but he's getting on the older side, so we're starting to lean towards some younger players of similar overall. He also did regress a little bit in the offseason. Linebackers pretty much all stay the same. We did sign Ngakoue. He's getting the start over Martin. They're the same overall. He just has a couple other ratings that I think would help us out most. Now, specialists talk about some changes there. We talked about the corner spot. But then when it comes to the offensive slot, we're going to start Washington. He has some better catching ratings, some better route running, though not across the board. If he doesn't perform, Hamler could go back out there. I also really want to try to get Jarrett some more opportunities, whether it's on the outside or in the slot. We're going to get him into that rotation. And for the final bit of information before we get into the actual game action, gotta talk about this upcoming draft a little bit. And we have some opportunities here to maybe make a change at quarterback. Kenny Pickett just hit 80 overall coming into this season, but we have Charles Halen and Matthew Otten both day 2 quarterbacks. Hopefully they end up actually having much higher talent. Maybe we have some competition if Pickett cannot step it up this season. There is a day 3 receiver in Evan Clifton, a undrafted tight end, or potential undrafted tight end. Nothing for the offensive line or defensive line. There is a potential undrafted middle linebacker. And then with Taylor Fowler, we're going to have to wait to find out if he's an off-ball or edge guy, but he's around 3 to 4. We also have another round 3 to 4 in Jeff Hunter. We could use some help on off-ball linebacker. Hopefully one of these guys pans out for us. And then we have a pretty good group of DBs. There is Terrence McNeil, round 1. Considering a lot of the guys that we're relying on in that cornerback spot are on the older side. Hopefully some of these guys end up panning out. There's also Jaylen Brown, round 2 to 3, day 3 in Nick Wilkerson, and a strong safety in Jay Burrell, who's around 3 to 4. So we've got a lot more options in this next draft class, so we will not be making any trades right now. So with that offseason moving pretty smoothly, we have the Bengals in week 1, a quick opportunity at some revenge as we will start this season with 3 straight divisional games. So let's jump into each of these and see what kind of action we could get underway. And as we jump on in here, about midway through the first quarter, both sides went 3 and out their first possession, and a immediate sack as we come in. It's Ojulari. Will end up being a loss of 7. Need to bounce back much better than that, especially with us putting a lot more talent into our offensive line. Connor down the middle will almost pick up the lost yardage. Will end up being a gain of about 5, leaving 3rd and 12. We got trips up top, 1 all the way down to the bottom of the screen. Kenny Pickett, can he throw some clean passes this year? That works as we find Godwin down to the 25. Kenny Pickett 3 of 4 for 38 yards. We've just had a lot of negative plays to start off with. Little like 2-3 yard TFLs. As we go back to Connor trying to fight through the middle, it's a short gain. And he gets up with a little bit of a knock. I want to say he's 29, if not 30 years old now, so we might need to rely a little bit more on Stallings this year. Second-year running back out there looking for a lane, cut back, but not able to find it, and now Juice Scruggs injured, clutching at that left knee as he's going to gingerly walk off the field. So rather quickly, that's going to get Bates right back out there at center. 3rd and 7. We've got to have guys step up today. Kenny Pickett, he's going to step up to run. Going to pick up that first down. Dotson with a little bit of a block downfield, gain of 11. Didn't see him scramble too much last year, despite us putting his quarterback style on that scrambler type. As he looks to throw towards the end zone, it's a diving swat Douglas. Had Jahan Dotson maybe throw that a split second earlier, it's a touchdown. Instead, it's 2nd and 10 at the 12. As we go down the middle, Stallings goes off of 98. I'm not sure who it is, but he's a superstar, and he just made him look silly. Not even a superstar X Factor. 3rd and 2. As we will look to throw, they bring the blitz. It's Dotson getting the touchdown. Nearly picked, but we get on the board here week 1 against our rivals. But just as we saw in week 18 last season, when one team scores, the other one immediately follows up with a good drive. Bengals down around the 35 as Watson steps up. It's a wobbly one, but it's finding Chase, who's finding the end zone. That should have, 1, been a tackle. 2, probably not even a complete pass with how wobbly that came out. And honestly, you could toss in a 3rd. It should have been a sack. But as we jump forward, still 7-7 here. And though it's the Bengals driving, but it's thrown straight to Dennis. He's trying to get to the outside. Not going to outrun the Bengals offense, but we will take over at the 44. A gift wrapped up in a bow, as that was just a bad throw from Watson. Offense coming out with a tight set. It is Connor back out there, so he's back from his early injury, though we're not creating much space. He's around 2 yards per carry. 2nd and 11. As we got a bunch up top, 1 down below. Kenny Pickett will look to throw. Down to the bottom, checking down Connor, can't hold on to it. We've been behind the chains most of the time today. That will continue. 2 up top, 1 down below. Kenny Pickett in the pocket, going up top, and it is picked in return. 1-on-1, though the Bengals getting a good return on this. Essentially back to the line of scrimmage goes McCreary. So a pretty sloppy game so far. Essentially negate both interceptions. Bengals right back where they were. As they go White down the middle, it's a gain of 2. They honestly haven't ran it all too much. Only 3 carries for White in this one, 11 yards. Bunch down below, Watson. He looks to throw. Down to the flat. Finding Kittle will be a short gain. And we'll have to keep it to another short gain, if any, on 3rd and 4. Bunch up top, Chase down below. A little bit of some play action. Watson going deep downfield, and it is tipped away. Dane Jackson. He showed flashes early season 1. He's just been riddled with injury. Hopefully he could step up this season as the field goal puts him in front. And as our offense continues struggling to move the ball, it's back with the defense out here inside 2 minutes. Now inside a minute, as it's a big catch there. Tight coverage, putting the Bengals into plus territory. We're trying to keep this game close heading into halftime. Bengals have 2 timeouts remaining. Rolling, getting by Gross Matos. Maddox will drag him down. Can't let them find those free plays like that. 2nd and 2, as they do not call any timeouts, under 30 seconds. Dump off, finding their target down to the 27. They call that 2nd timeout. They got trips up top, 1 to the bottom. More play action for Watson. Going deep, and it's picked off. Trying to find some blockers. He did get 1. And it is Benford taking us up to the 23 and most likely taking us through halftime. Defense has done a heck of a job keeping us in this one, but we've got to get this offense moving. In the second half, we're down at the inch line, and not a good inch line. We go down the middle, James Conner, he's going to pick up about 12 carries, 14 yards. Obviously playing against the Bengals 2 times every year, they saw how our offense was structured last year, and it nearly cost them the division. They've made good adjustments, though. Conner finally finding some space, getting us up to around the 20. Now, of course, you can tell I'm out here running this drive with the offense, just trying to get them moving a little bit. As we got an RPO dialed up, we'll get it out to Godwin. Gets the catch, spins off the tackle, out of bounds, but a flag is down. And this one is coming back. That one ends up being on Ryan Bates at center. 1st and 18. We got 2 to the left, 1 to the right in Dotson. Trying to set up a pass downfield, drive it in for Godwin, diving, he reels it in. And ultimately, that makes it a bigger play than what we had before the penalty. As we make an adjustment here, looking for some play action, get someone downfield since they're stacking the box here. Try to open up those running lanes as we have Dotson, another sideline grab. He had a beautiful toe drag touchdown last season. He's got the sideline awareness, though we do need a better throw from Kenny Pickett on that, as Cabina motions all the way to the outside. Try to open up some lanes here. Conner down the middle will pick up 7. Now, obviously, last year, very run heavy. If you were around, most of our plays were runs. Early this season, we might toy with having a few more passes, just to see how that is looking, as we will just roll out with Pickett, pick up the 1st down, get out of bounds. Don't need to take any risk this season for sure. We had plenty of that in the last couple. As there's a beautiful juke there from Conner. He bursts through, picking up yet another 1st down. Takes a shot at the end, but we're down inside the red zone. After getting quite a few carries this drive, we'll send Conner to the sideline. Stallings coming out here as he's down the middle. Yeah, he took a big shot. Stuffed. 98. Carter. He really has not let much get by him today, as we're going to go with a stretch to the weak side. Conner back out. Stallings a little bit of a one punch here and there. A little bit more of a burst from Conner, though the ball pops out, and it looks like the Bengals recover. but was Connor down? Well, in fact, there is a booth review. Hopefully that is good signs, as we'll take another look here. Or not. Great shoes, I guess. Nike sponsor? I guess however the NFL needs to make their money, but they make the correct decision. Offense remains on the field. Got an RPO dialed up. Though we'll keep it with Connor. Trucks through one, headed towards the end zone, stopped at the one. You could sense the frustration not getting into there as he slammed the ball down. We'll bring out the goal line set. Fullback dive, Cabina. Back in front we go. Make it 14-10 as we are into the fourth quarter. Defense is coming up clutch, getting these stops. Would love for us to start milking some clock as we pick up 2 on first down. While I would prefer more, a lot of our first downs has been losses of 2 or 3, so that's progress. 2nd and 8, we go back to Connor, who just decides to run into number 95. He had space, but I guess he really wanted to be tackled by Grady Jarrett. I don't know. 3rd and 5, as we got a couple options down below, one up top, sitting back in shotgun. Pickett looking to throw. Down to the bottom and missing his target. He's had a very hit or miss start to this season. But 4th and 5, the offense stays on out. We got 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Aggressive play call here as we have Godwin. Good ball that time from Pickett. This drive will continue. Just open up some running lanes. I know Grady Jarrett, you got Jalen Carter. It's a really good interior defensive line here. But we've got to make some things work as the ball pops out again. That time it is a clear fumble. And I think we got to get Connor out of this one. Of course, that'll only be after the offense gets back out there, which hopefully that we don't have to. And it's a 14-10 dub here. All depends on how the defense handles themselves. As Watson finds his target. It looked like 3 guys thought they were going to catch that, but it was just Goldberg who got the catch. 1st and 10, they're down inside the 45. As they come out with a single back set, Watson looking to hand it off and getting tackled by Cansey. Gain of 2. Neither team really running all too well in this one. 2.8 yards per carry for White. As they stick with the same look on 2nd, we only bring 3, but leave a wide open receiver who shakes the tackle and sprinting in to take the field goal lead. So as our offense comes out now trailing, Ryland, we all know from last episode, he needs the 39 for a field goal attempt. We're looking for a touchdown, but we got to take what we can get. Maybe, try to catch a catchable ball. Pickett has definitely missed some throws, but that was in range. We got a bunch to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Just need to find some yards. As we got Dotson. I mean, why do we not have a connection here with our quarterback and receivers? We just went through a full off-season training. Preseason, I mean, we should have that down by now. As they bring the blitz, we get it out to Israel, who needs to pick up the first down. Weave it back in. We got it. Flag, though, comes in late. This one's going to be interesting as they're calling holding way late. And it's going to be on Mitchell, essentially erasing the first down play, 3rd and 9. Come out with an empty set then. Bunch to the right, 2 to the left. We got to find something. As we've got our target, finding a Okonkwo up to the 47. And that'll also take us to the 2-minute warning. Still needing at least that field goal. As our guy coming across, Godwin, that's going to get us into range as he gets out of bounds at the 34. And as we are now within that range, with 3 timeouts, we could bring back a little bit of the rushing game. As we get our running back to the outside, a gain of about 9. Offense has definitely had to adapt out of their preferred style, which is just straight up running the ball. RPO, we go back to the handoff. Gonna pick up another first down for us, says now Parker Washington shaken up. That will cost us a timeout here. We definitely are getting banged up in this one. That's gonna bring out Hamler to the left-hand side, as we got 2 to that side. Stepping up, Gonna take a dive? Okay, that works. You know, I always prefer the slide, but in that instance, why not? Just need another first down here. We find Okonkwo, but he drops it. So 3rd and 2. Bengals come out with a double A gap look. They're trying to stuff the middle. Well, we could get maybe Hamler to the outside quickly, depending on that left corner. We've got some options. As they kind of drop, it's Godwin who also drops it. 44 seconds left. You've got to tie the game. Both the receivers and Pickett questionable in this one. But Ryland ties us up. What's it going to be? Defense. 38 seconds left. Bengals have 3 timeouts. Can we force a mistake? No, instead we almost give up the play. They get up to the 46, and they call 1 timeout. They still got 2 remaining, 33 seconds. Watson going downfield again. He's got Chase, and that might be field goal range. As they immediately follow it, coming out with a more run-style formation. White down the middle. We'll keep those legs moving. It's a gain of 5, and we should be calling timeouts here. We've got to conserve clock, but we're not doing it. We're letting them run it down for field goal range. As we're around the 5, if this play goes for too long, which it won't, we could have sent this to overtime. Instead, we call our timeout there, trying to ice the kicker. Not too sure that's really going to work considering it's Justin Tucker. Definitely should have called our timeouts earlier, preserve some time. Instead, we lose the game. A lot of mistakes, little mistakes throughout that game that stockpiled in what was still a very defensive game. Needed the defense to get one more stop, but honestly, the offense should have got that touchdown if they could have just caught the pass. And what's really disappointing is in that game, Connor McGovern dislocated his knee. He's gonna miss the first quarter of the season. And I think it was on like a point after or a field goal attempt, which was really even more disappointing. But we will have to reload as week 2 is the Steelers. They won in week 1. The Browns and ourselves, we did not. So the Bengals currently hold the top. We can start to help ourselves pretty early on here with a bounce back game. And it'll start into plus territory for the Steelers. Down to the 34. Defense played pretty decently that last game. We just need a couple more plays to go our way and start locking things down a little bit more. Looks like the Steelers have improved their receiver core, as they do have a lot of movement pre-snap here. That's definitely going to back them up. But as I was trying to say, I think they've added some receiver talent, maybe a new tight end. They got a superstar plus Justin Jefferson. So some more guys for us to cover. Really good offensive line as well. Kyler Murray just sprinting right down the middle of the field. Goes untouched down to the 8. We can't allow delayed quarterback draws to go for 21 yards. Similar set here with 1st and goal across the middle. Knocked out. Good tight coverage. Now, one thing I would love to see a little bit more of this year is forcing some turnovers. 2nd and goal, Kyron Williams towards the end zone, though stopped by Whitehead. Patrick Jones, though, a little bit shaken up. It's going to be another one of our players heading through the tunnel. 3rd and goal, about half the length of the football away. Kyron, though, is stuffed. I believe Ngakoue plus Givens tag team for that stop will force the field goal attempt instead. Not too disappointed with that play. Now, what I am a little disappointed in is our lack of offense up to this point. We are into plus territory finally here about midway in the 2nd. But that was after 2 big defensive penalties. So we really need to get this offense moving as it was last part of last season. Offense was running pretty smoothly outside of a couple missed throws from Kenny Pickett. Can't say he's had a better start, but I feel like he's doing slightly better. Good 1st down run there from Connor. 8 rushes, 36 yards for him as we come out with a heavy set. For 1st and 10 inside the red zone at the 18. A little bit of some play action. Kenny Pickett looking to step up straight into the rush. They say he fumbled. I don't think he actually did, but I think they're going to credit Ogbo with a sack fumble as the 2-minute warning arrives. Really sloppy start for the offense this year. Got to start turning that around. We need some big plays or just consistent plays even. 2nd and 15. Empty set for Kenny Pickett. Across the middle, he finds Godwin. Actually holding on to that one. I would have preferred he drop that one and get the catch at the end of last game. That would have been better for us. 3rd and 11 though, as we have a single back set. Kenny Pickett taking his time to find his reads. As he will look to scramble down the middle, he takes the contact, just going to allow a field goal attempt. Now, one thing I did not note is that the Steelers also got a field goal. So this one makes it 6-3. As time is running out here in the first half, Steelers, they don't like that score. They're looking to add to it. As we send the blitz, it's off the mark by Murray. It's plays like that we've got to be able to find a pick off of. Though the incomplete pass is still better than them gaining anything. 2nd and 10, they got trips up top. Murray, quick throw to the flat, finding Kyren Williams, and quickly out of bounds with a gain of 4. Murray has completed most of his passes today, 10 of 16, needing 6 more here on 3rd. As once again we bring the blitz, and it's an overthrow that could have been a touchdown. So for yet again, another field goal attempt. This is the 4th one of the game. Steelers make it 9-3. Now as we jump forward into the second half, this is following an interception thrown to J.C. Horn. Steelers trying to finally find a touchdown today. Have to avoid the pass rush, which they do by throwing it out the back of the end zone. Ngakoue has provided a good amount of pass rush so far here today. Now, it's not looking like we are playing much of Kancey. Maybe he's shaken up from a practice injury or just got shaken up at some point this game. Wish that was something that popped up during the game. That would be nice to see. But while Kancey apparently not playing and Ngakoue making plays, we've got to have guys step up. That's kind of where we were able to get back into things last season. As Murray rolls, it's a sack number 98, Givens. Just brought him in the last offseason. Not really an Aaron Donald replacement, but we still need him to make the plays. As Murray checks down to Kyren Williams, he will almost half the yardage needed on 3rd. The defense seemingly getting a bit more stingy every time the Steelers get close to the end zone. As it's another shotgun pass, Murray rolling into the arms of another Raven. Jefferson with the sack, 4th and 16. And once again, we have a field goal attempt. This one to make it 12-3, which would finally put this out of a touchdown game, and it will be. And perhaps that was the little nudge the offense needed, driving here inside the 30 at the 27. Got to finish this drive with a touchdown. Connor down the middle picks up 5. He's at 15 carries, around 78 yards. For 2nd and 5, we got one spread either side. Going with the play action, Pickett's got to roll, got to find his target, and he does each of those down to the 4. This has been a much better game for Kenny Pickett, 8 of 11 throwing. As you come out with 2 tight ends down to the bottom, 2 up top, but the 4th quarter will arrive before we can snap it. Need a quick touchdown, stop from the defense. And then after that, we need some more points from the offense. But it all starts right here at the 4 with 1st and goal. As Kenny Pickett makes some changes, he's got 2 receivers up top, some play action, lofting to an empty part of the end zone. That was definitely more of a avoid the sack that could have happened situation. As we bring out all the tight ends to the top of the line, still throwing, and that time he did not avoid the sack that was to be. Steelers get aggressive, they sent the blitz right down the middle. 3rd and goal back at the 7 now. A lot of 2 tight end sets as designed, and that forced across the middle. We could take the field goal here, put it back to a touchdown game, but we really need a stop from the defense, and we need a touchdown today. Ryland is good. And we would finally get that quick stop from our defense. Now we are heading out here with the offense because we are starting back at the 3. We got 6 minutes and 18 seconds, and I would love to use each and every second to march down the field, get a touchdown, hit the extra point, and head on home. But that's not entirely up to me. Our players have to make plays, and the Steelers have to not make the plays. As Connor picks up a nice gain, good blocks around the board. Now last time, we tried to do a similar thing here, and someone coughed up the ball. So let's keep it clean here late. Connor back down the middle, trucking through 49. He ate the shoulder. I believe that was Frankie Louvu. Leaving 2nd and 4 as we spread 2 to the right-hand side, Godwin to the left. Need to hold on to these passes here late as Pickett dives. Will you please slide? I know you know how. Not sure why he refuses to do it, but yeah, I don't know. Madden loves its shenanigans, that's for sure. Kabina motioning all the way to the outside yet again. I just needed to have it be a strong set, but this works. Connor gets to the outside. Good blocks downfield from Kabina, though we got there a little too eagerly. But we've definitely taken a lot of time off the clock, about 3 minutes, both left and what we've taken off. As we come out with a bunch to the right-hand side, the Okonkwo going to go underneath. As we try to thread it to Washington, it's knocked away. If Pickett wanted that one, should have thrown it a lot earlier. 2nd and 10 then, slowing the momentum, but then finding blocks, fighting through, getting up as many yards as possible, gain of 8. That puts him well over 100 yards on 20 carries. But we need these next 2. Double to backer as Stallings checks in, and we will do just that. Trucks through the safety to add on a couple more, and it's Leaky Fotu injured on the play. Not inside the 2-minute warning yet. It is a free timeout for the Steelers and ourselves as we let ourselves catch our breaths. Going back down the middle, we pick up 2 that should carry us about to the 2-minute warning. But we might be able to get the snap off, and we will. 1 second prior to, as it's down the field for Godwin. Tremendous recovery speed that somehow burst past Godwin and swatted it away, leaving us with a 3rd and 8. Not sure if there's like those Mario boosts happening out here, but Pickett looks to dive again. Okay, he's not fumbling. I'll take it as we get back to the line quickly. Inside the 2 minutes here. Still trying to make sure we take up as much time as possible. Stallings keeping those legs moving. He picks up 4. We're just going to keep at it as they're starting to draw down the box here. We look to roll then. Kenny Pickett get to the outside, though can't evade the diving tackle. Definitely thought he had some room to run. 3rd and 6, we flip the formation, keeping things simple as we go strange. That is not enough for the first down. And as we tick under 30 seconds left, we've got to have it here. Leaky Fotu back over on that left-hand side. It's where we need the double. Get to the 2nd level as well. Connor finds the gap. 1st down. We call a timeout. We got 15 seconds to find the end zone. And we'll change up the look to help us try to do so. 2 to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. We got a couple corner options. As they actually cover that really well, we get it out in the flat to Connor to get us a little bit closer. Out of bounds, 10 seconds. Definitely can't be choosing any sort of developing plays. We got to find these quick hitters. Setting up the slants across the middle. We've got Washington who slips the tackle and takes the lead with 6 seconds left. Tack on the PAT, and we've got the go-ahead. Now the defense still has to play smart here. Steelers have timeouts. If they get a big pop play to field goal range, they could call that timeout and try to game a game-winning play, though they run out of time. They eventually throw it, but at that point, you got to throw it downfield. It's going to be a win for us. These 2 games to start off with go late on. We did not make the plays we needed to the first one. The second time we do. 13-12. We've split our first 2 games. And from there, we're immediately jumping into the second half of the Browns game. This is another close one, 14-10. We go jet sweep to Washington. That's a new little wrinkle. We'll get about a yard. But we have a great opportunity here to put us atop the division if some of the other games go our way. The Browns have yet to win one this season. Everyone outside of them has split as Connor gets a big gain, spun down at the 16. With us getting that last win. We are currently second in division right now, only below the Bengals. So if they lose, we win. We could definitely get up on top and start to really build things for this year. Despite some of the rocky start, a lot of injuries, and in fact, we did have Cansey out that last game. There's been some other injuries. We'll talk about all of that to end today. But for now, we're trying to find a touchdown as Connor, he kept those legs moving as long as he could. Gets us down to the 1. Offensive line definitely helped out for sure. For a big boy set here, we got one receiver down below. We go with a nice pull, though we forgot to block the last guy. It's Tavai with the stop, though. Looks like he took just about as much of a hit as he gave. With 3rd and goal, let's find the end zone here. Kenny Pickett back in shotgun. We got a bunch up top, Dotson down below. We go Connor slipping another tackle, and we take that lead. In the 3rd quarter, make it 17-14. And after a couple back and forth drives, we set up the Browns to take the lead as it is intercepted, return for the touchdown by Devin White. I'm sure our defense not going to be too happy about that. So let's try to make up for it here, offense. Let's retake that lead. As we're under 6.5 minutes left, Connor stacked up. 23 carries, 103, and a touchdown, though. He's put in a lot of work in these games so far. A lot of carries. We're not seeing a lot of rotation despite us actually adjusting the auto subs, so we might need to do that a little bit more as we lose yards on 2nd down. Now, right now, we are sitting at the most extent of the range of Ryland, so we need some amount of yardage here. As it's thrown to an open Okonkwo. That will work. Down to the red zone. Definitely didn't want to settle for a field goal, but we don't have to. Works out. As it's 1st and 10, we go back to the run. Connor, this little hesitation shimmy works in our favor that time. Half the time it hasn't so far, but hey, you get the big ones, you get the big ones. 2nd and 1, back to a tight set, as Stallings does check in thereafter. He looks to find his lane, and they are not going to give us the 1st down there. It was close. But they say the Browns stopped us a smaller than a millimeter? Like that's a 1st down. And we throw it across the middle. Dotson holds on to it, thankfully. Very much question the passing play there, but hey, it works. We'll move on as we go with another shimmy stretch into the end zone. I thought that was going to be stopped, but James Conner gives us the lead yet again. And with that in hand, defense, you can close out this game. 3 minutes left. Huntley, the quarterback here for the Browns. He takes a pop, throws it away in the process. While it's a great no gain, it does stop the clock. I would love for that to roll, but also I don't want them gaining any yards. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too. As they throw for the 1st down, Jonnu Smith, though, kept in bounds as Jedrick Wills Jr. shaken up. So that's still going to end up stopping the clock. They're finding a way to do it one way or the other. As they got a bunch up top, one below. Sitting back in shotgun, we bring 4. Huntley across the middle. Finds, I believe, is his running back, gain of 4. And indeed it is Aaron Jones. He's had some mixed play against us throughout this series. Sometimes some big, sometimes not too much. As they go back across the middle, 1st down through their receiver. That one, Wan'Dale Robinson. As we're closing into the 2-minute warning here. I'm assuming they will snap the ball, and indeed they do. Huntley across the middle again, though a much bigger game as they find Bateman, getting him down to the 27. A field goal ties. as we're inside the 2-minute warning now. Huntley, back throwing, missing his mark. That time it just looked like the timing was off. So if we could turn one of those missed time throws into a pick, I'd take that for sure. 2 spread either side. Huntley, sitting, waiting, delivering. Jump ball, caught out of bounds. Dane Jackson uses the sideline to his advantage, leaving it 3rd and 10. It's not even 4 down territory. They could tie it up. They probably would, you would imagine. Setting up the halfback screen for Jones. Big blooming block. Try to say that 3 times fast because I messed up on the first one. Big booming block, not blooming. It's not a flower. 1st and goal. 2 either side at the 6. Can we make the play here, or are we going to have to see some big plays from our offense? Jones down the middle, met by Dennis. For being a low overall linebacker, he's made some plays this series. 2nd and goal, pistol set for Huntley, who will look to throw. Finding Bateman. Browns take the late game lead. And once again, we find ourselves looking for a late touchdown to win it. Though with much less time, 1:20, we got all of our timeouts. We need some big plays. As it's thrown out for Connor, jump ball is tipped away, but a flag is down. And they're going to give DPI. Honestly feel like we got a bit bailed out on that as they come out following with off coverage. So don't like the play we had originally dialed up. We'll change it then. Still have our timeouts. We don't have to get any of the big plays yet, though it would be nice. Or throw the pick to Blankenship. Luckily, we still have those timeouts. I can see what obviously Pickett was looking for there. The crossing receiver. He just didn't wait for the receiver to cross the corner. As it's Jones down the middle. Gain of 6. Timeout called. This could be close to field goal range for them as well. Got to make sure we get the stops, though. Receiver in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Here comes Maddox, and I believe that's a face mask that might seal the deal. With a fresh set of downs at the 30. We just got 2 timeouts. Yeah, that might have done it. We'll see what the defense can do. Honestly, if Maddox ripped that out, that would have been a great recovery. We got 1 timeout remaining. 59 seconds. If we could force a field goal, then a touchdown could tie with no timeouts to help. There's crazier things that have happened, as it will be a 3rd and 11. They will kneel it, but they will have to kick the ball. So there's that. We're just looking for an absolute miracle here late. If he can miss this field goal, that would be fantastic. From around the 39, it is up, and it is true. With 12 seconds. Can we do the impossible? They got press coverage across the board. We're going to change Washington's route to be the stop. Try to get Jahan Dotson one-on-one. He's got the speed. If we could get him to the outside, it's tipped. 8 seconds left. That took 4 seconds. But they're still going to come out and press. I doubt Connor's going to get the release, but we've got a couple different options for sure. But we get sacked, and that will end it. So a little bit of all-over play to get Season 3 underway. And I honestly not quite sure which way I feel about it. The offense feels very different. The defense still is putting together mostly really good performances. And funnily enough, I think the entire division is in the same spot we are. Not sure how to feel after that start. Now, what I will say is that the Browns, they're putting up the most points of any of the teams in division. Meanwhile, we have given up the least amount of points. So there's a little bit of some mix in there. The Bengals obviously beat us week 1. They've lost the last 2 games. Brown, they just won their first game. Steelers have lost their last 2. It is all over the place. And as today comes to an end, we have the 30th ranked offense. Defense is number 1. So as I was saying, the defense, they're playing really well. Kenny Pickett is not, apparently. More interceptions than he has touchdowns, 56% completion. It's not looking great for him. James Conner just under 5 yards per carry. Stallings, he's only at 15 carries. I'm going to continue messing with that auto subs. We've had some fumbles as well. Receivers, well, I think it's pretty telling that right now, Chig Okonkwo is our leading receiver on less carries than Godwin with the same amount of yards. Neither have scored a touchdown. John Dotson has had 2, and Parker Washington has had 1. We're really not getting a whole lot of guys else involved. The offense is just feeling a little strange, to say the least. In terms of blocking, not a good start for Rasheed Walker. He's given up a sack a game. Though for Bates and his playing time, he's done pretty decently. So we'll see as we move forward what changes need to take place this season. Maddox, once again, our leading tackler. Tackles for a loss, we're still getting some. 2 for Maddox, Gross Matos, Givens, and then 1 for Jones and Jefferson. But without Aaron Donald, we really aren't picking up that many sacks. So hopefully that starts to develop. We have had 2 picks, Benford and Dennis. Need a little bit more, but hey, Chad Ryland is 100% through the first 3. But as we finish off today, just going to show you a quick sneak preview on these 2 quarterbacks, as one does not look to be an option, and Matthew Otten has the A short accuracy, but the deep is a D. Meanwhile, we have Charles Halen, and he has at least B deep accuracy. Still don't know the others, so maybe there is some potential competition for Pickett with Charles Halen. We'll see, and we'll see about the rest of these guys as we move forward throughout the season. And of course, to make sure you don't miss out on what happens with this Marylvania state-only challenge, hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down and hit the sub button. They both do the same thing, and tap the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. Plus, we have the Panthers traditional franchise every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we guys got a lot of content, and we're going to get through a good chunk of the season next time. If it's like last year where it's a tight battle, we could have another 2, 3, who knows how many episodes. All depends on how the team plays, because we want to see some good action. If they don't perform, we'll get through it quickly. But obviously, we're hoping that they perform pretty well, and we'll focus a bit more on updates of the college players as we start next episode, so that way we can decide by week 8 if a trade is necessary. So we'll see you then as this team continues to battle in a very tight division.
How it's supposed to feel.